Morning, greetings, friends, and welcome to The Bright Side, your nutritional program dedicated to the understanding of the vast world of nutrition and nutritional supplementation. I'm your host, Pharmacist Ben, nutritional pharmacist from Boulder, Colorado. I use nutritional supplements in my practice where other healthcare practitioners use toxic pharmaceutical drugs and sometimes deadly medical procedures. If you suspect that there are natural nutritional roads to your vitality and health and well-being and to addressing your health challenges, whatever they may be, but you don't know where to begin, you have come to the right place. As you listen to The Bright Side every day, you are more and more in control of your body, you are more and more knowledgeable, and you know you can overcome any health issue. That's why we're here every day on The Bright Side, helping clear up the sometimes confusing world of nutrition and nutritional supplementation. Over the last 29 years of practice in pharmacy, I've seen drug-free recoveries from diabetes, hypertension, obesity, skin diseases like psoriasis, eczema, rosacea, acne, digestive ailments, autoimmune issues of all kinds. Recoveries that by the standards of modern medicine can only be called a miracle, but what is in the world of the body standard operating procedure. Because the human body is a healing and regenerating and renewing system. It is designed divinely to heal and renew itself on a moment-to-moment basis. And while some folks may call that healing system a miracle, it is just the way the body works. If you have questions about health or nutrition or prescription drugs, or you want to wean yourself off your meds and get on a good nutritional supplement program, or you have skin health challenges or an autoimmune issue you want help dealing with, or a loved one has some kind of health challenge that you want to help them with, we welcome your phone calls at 844-236-6010, 844-236-6010. We want to help you change your life today. We want to help you change the lives of loved ones and family members and workmates today. 844-236-6010 is our number. I am dedicated to your good health. And let us help you help yourself. 844-236-6010 is our number. If you want to purchase any of our Truth Treatment skin health products, head over to truthtreatments.com. Make sure you take a look at our retinol 5% gel made with 25%. A huge dose of premium, fat-soluble, stabilized, very powerful vitamin C, no preservatives, no fragrances, no silicone, no oil, no wax, no nothing. Do you know when you buy a skin health product, skincare product, that's an important distinction that we haven't talked about, skin health versus skin care. When you purchase a skin care product, not a skin health product, there aren't very many of those out there. Of course, truthtreatments.com are skin health products. When you purchase a typical skincare product, you're paying for 90% water, wax, filler, oil, silicone, and other excipients and fillers. Very rarely will you have more than 1% or 0.5%, maybe 2% of an active material. That's 98% baloney. Even moisturizing products and medical grade therapeutic products utilize Vaseline as their active ingredients. Yeah, Vaseline and then mineral oil. Those are the two most used or popular active ingredients for therapeutic, the kind of moisturizers like Eucerin that doctors recommend. Why would people pay so much money for Vaseline and mineral oils? Because we don't understand ingredients. Anyway, be an ingredient deck reader all the time. Foods, skincare products. You'll be shocked. When you start to read ingredients on your skincare products, your moisturizers and anti-aging products, etc., you're going to be very, very surprised. Okay, we are talking vitamin E. Last we spoke, we said vitamin E for the brain and nervous system. Vitamin E protects the myelin, the coating on brain cells and nerve cells from oxidizing, from going rancid. If you ever smelt a rancid oil, what you're smelling is an oxidized oil, and that same kind of chemistry that makes an oil rancid, that same kind of chemistry that makes oil stinky and not usable, that same kind of chemistry that makes oils not available for foods, not available for food grade oils are typically not going to be rancid. In any case, that same kind of chemistry occurs in your brain, occurs in your nerve cells. And vitamin E is a protector of that rancidity. That's why it's always included in nutritional supplements and sometimes used in the skincare world to keep oils from going rancid. Vitamin E is, in my opinion, a must-have supplement for anyone who's dealing with or anyone who's the caretaker of someone who's got Alzheimer's or any dementias. Any kind of brain health issues, or for people who want to avoid dementia, and for folks who want to maintain and improve cognitive function. You don't have to be sick. You don't have to have dementia or brain health issues to benefit from vitamin E. Multiple sclerosis, the same way, Guillain-Barré syndrome. The same way, Parkinson's disease, palsies, any diseases of the brain or the nervous system should be thought of as places where vitamin E can be helpful. Vitamin E is a protection vitamin. And it doesn't work in chemistry the same way other vitamins do. Vitamin C works to facilitate chemistry. Vitamin K works to facilitate chemistry. The B complex works to make energy reactions happen in the cell more effectively. It facilitates energy production. Vitamin E is more like a preventer. It prevents damage from excess energy, particularly excess energy from light and electrical energy that's associated with fats. Remember, fats are highly electrical. That's why they go rancid so quickly. That's why you have to be careful with eating fats. That's why Dr. Wallach and Dr. Glidden and other folks say don't eat them at all. I don't go that far because there's still some value, in my opinion, to fats, but certainly their point is well taken, and it's because of the high amount of electrical energy in fats. That's why the energy in fats is why our culture runs on fats via oil, via fossil fuels. Fossil fuels are a type of fat. Oil is a type of fat, obviously, and it has a high amount of energy. And that energy is unstable. Energy that's useful is also unstable, and that's why vitamin E and fats go together, and that's why vitamin E protects the fatty parts of the body, particularly the brain, and the skin, and the eyes. Vitamin E dampens excess energy. It sucks it up, so the excess energy cannot do damage. It acts like an energy sponge. That's why it's protective against sunburn, and wrinkles, and dark spots, and accelerated aging of the skin. Wrinkles, especially. The same benefits protect your eyes from macular degeneration, from any degeneration of the eyes. Vitamin E, if vitamin E is a must-have for the Guillain-Barré and multiple sclerosis and Parkinson's and dementias, it's a must-have for eye health too. The eyes, by the way, are part of the brain. They're an extension of our brain. They're literally wired. They're connected right to the brain. If you look at a Google image of the eyes in the brain, you'll see the eyes are like stalks of the brain. They're almost like the brain's antennas. And vitamin E's protection for brain protective benefits from dementia and Parkinson's disease extend to the eyes. And remember, all of these benefits you're not going to be able to exploit or leverage all of these benefits unless you're supplementing, because the stuff is not in food. I shouldn't say that, it is in foods, but not to really a very high degree. I mean, tiny amounts are in foods. One of the most underappreciated and possibly the most important role for vitamin E involves diabetes and blood sugar issues. Vitamin E is a anti-sugaring vitamin, and if it is a must-have supplement if you're dealing with Alzheimer's or dementias, or you want to improve brain health, or you want to protect your brain, if it's a must-have supplement for the brain and nervous system, it is a must-have or an extra must-have supplement if you have diabetes or sugar or blood sugar issues. It protects cells from sugaring, glycation it's called. If you ever had a hemoglobin A1C test done, what the doctor's done is he's tested your hemoglobin, which is a protein in red blood cells, to see how candied they are, how caramelized they are, how sugary they are. That reaction is called glycation. And vitamin E protects against glycation. And vitamin E protects against something called metabolic syndrome. I love that term. I love that name, that designation, metabolic syndrome. Syndrome is a health condition that has multiple symptoms associated with it. ADD, or that's a type of syndrome. Mental issues, emotional issues, developmental issues. PMS, premenstrual syndrome, has breast swelling, abdominal pain, headache, pelvic pain, nervous tension, jitteriness, insomnia, nausea and vomiting. These are all aspects of PMS. Heavy periods. These are all aspects of PMS. And if you look at them individually, they're separate. You got problems with the breast, problems with emotions, nausea and vomiting. They look like they're separate, but they're all encompassed under this umbrella term, syndrome, premenstrual syndrome. A syndrome is a disease or health issue that has various seemingly non-associated health issues or symptoms. AIDS, acquired immune deficiency syndrome. You get chronic infections, you get fatigue, you get nausea, diarrhea, rashes, fevers. All of these seem like they're separate, but they're all part of the syndrome, acquired immune deficiency syndrome. There's all kinds of syndromes out there. Metabolic syndrome is the most interesting, or one of the most interesting. We'll talk about that when we come back from our break. I'm Pharmacist Ben. 844-236-6010 is our number. We'll be back after this.
You are listening to GCN. Visit GCNlive.com today.
Okay, we are back on the bright side. I'm Pharmacist Ben. Got a couple lines open for you at 844-236-6010. If you have questions about health or nutrition or prescription drugs, let us help clear up any confusion. If you have questions about skincare products or skincare ingredients, we can help. 844-236-6010. And if you have questions, of course, about the longevity products or the longevity business, or if you have a success story you'd like to share, 844-236-6010 is our number today on the bright side, today and every day on the bright side. If you want to join the Bright Side Ben team, please call 866-735-2470. Let them know you want to join the Bright Side Ben team for a one-time $25 fee. You can start a business. You can't. Where else can you start a business for $25? If you go all out and get the Healthy Start or the CEO pack, you get products that you can give away. It's a great way to start a business, folks, and it's a great way to help people. Great way to share. If you've benefited from the longevity products and nutritional supplementation, it's a great way to share what you benefited, to pay it forward, as it were. You can also call, or you can also check out my website, brightsideben.com, pharmacistben.com, or criticalhealthnews.com. Okay, so we're talking vitamin E. We've been talking vitamin E for a while. There's so many. It's just an amazing, amazing, amazing supplement. Before we went to break, we were talking about metabolic syndrome, which is like other syndromes, it's kind of an umbrella term that encompasses various seemingly separate symptomologies. Like PMS is a syndrome, AIDS is a syndrome, Sjogren's syndrome is an autoimmune disease that affects the muscles and the skin and the salivary glands and the tear ducts. So metabolic syndrome, which may be the most common syndrome, it's thought that 100 million Americans, that is a crazy number, folks. How can 100 million people have one type of health challenge? And we see this all the time in the world of health. 100 million diabetics, 100 million people are obese, 100 million people have liver disease. We're going to be talking about that here later today or tomorrow. 100 million people have metabolic syndrome, 1 out of 3. So if there's 3 people in your family or 6 people in your family, 1 or 2 of them have metabolic syndrome. Take all your friends and start to divvy it up, and you'll see how many people have metabolic syndrome if you just figure 1 in 3. So metabolism is everything. Everything in the body is metabolism. So metabolism syndrome is just a crazy term. Metabolic syndrome. It means an everything syndrome. It means anything's possible. It's a smorgasbord. And by the way, this used to be called Syndrome X. They don't call it Syndrome X now. Now they call it metabolic syndrome. I remember doing a presentation for the longevity annual convention back in 2001 when longevity was a tiny, relatively small company, about a couple thousand people maybe. That was in 2001. So I did a presentation pre-9/11, the innocent days, pre-iPhone, pre-PayPal, pre-eBay, the Stone Ages. It was only 14 years ago, but it seems like it was primitive compared to how advanced we've become. And back then, no one had ever heard of metabolic syndrome or Syndrome X. And I remember asking a lot of questions about, or answering a lot of questions about metabolic syndrome and Syndrome X. These days, all healthcare professionals have heard of it, and many of their patients as well. As I say, 1 out of 3, or maybe 1 out of 3 or 1 out of 4 Americans have it. So the underlying feature of metabolic syndrome is a reduction, a deficiency in how sensitive cells are to insulin. And insulin affects everything. Every single thing in the body is affected by insulin. Insulin is the hormone that allows cells to get fed. Insulin can be thought of as your garage door opener. Insulin is a cell's garage door opener. It opens up the garage so nutrients can get delivered right to the garage. And sometimes some little cellular protein opens up the door to the house and welcomes the nutrient in, chaperones the nutrient into the house. Those are literally called chaperones. But insulin is the garage door opener. And once the garage door opener doesn't work anymore or isn't as receptive, you know how sometimes your garage door opener, you can press it a few times, it's just not opening the garage? That's basically diabetes right there, if you can transfer the metaphor. So insulin's when your garage door, diabetes, type 2 diabetes, is when your garage door opener doesn't work as well. Cells become less responsive to the garage door opener, to insulin. And then, because it's all cells, Any cells can become malnourished. That means any issue can happen. Brain cells or liver cells or bone cells or intestinal cells or muscle cells or blood cells or immune cells, whatever. Any cell can become malnourished and weakened once the garage door opener is not working. Once insulin insensitivity occurs. That's what metabolic syndrome is. It's insulin insensitivity, and any health condition can follow. Doctors will tell you that the most common features of metabolic syndrome are heart disease, cardiovascular disease, strokes, heart attacks, hypertension, kidney disease. Have you noticed there's an epidemic of kidney disease? Kidney disease is a manifestation of metabolic syndrome. And there's so many kidneys that are getting yanked out. And there's so many people on dialysis. And there's so many people suffering. They go to the doctor. And the kidney is incredibly important organ in the body. You got two of them for that reason. If you have any kidney issues and your doctor has not told you about the link to metabolic syndrome, find another doctor or tell him to listen to this program. Kidney disease is metabolic syndrome. It's blood sugar problems. The kidneys filter the blood. And sugar is a poison in the blood. And sugar accumulates, and sugar damages things, especially damages the blood. Elevated blood sugar is part of metabolic syndrome. Obesity is part of elevated blood sugar. Metabolic syndrome. And elevated blood cholesterol is also part of metabolic syndrome. Blood cholesterol issues are sugar issues. Like kidney disease is a sugar issue and nobody treats it as such. Elevated blood cholesterol is a sugar issue and nobody treats it as such, or very few people treat it as such. Even doctors know that elevated cholesterol is a classic sign of metabolic syndrome and messed up insulin sensitivity, but for some reason they have not made that link. This is what I've been telling you guys for over 20 years, that elevated cholesterol equals elevated blood sugar, and still people are taking their statin drugs and they're having their blood cholesterol tested and they're freaking out because of high cholesterol. It's a sugar issue. It's an insulin resistance issue. It's a sign of metabolic syndrome. This is so important because it puts the control over our health back in our bodies, back in our laps. We become powerful again in terms of how we handle our bodies, in terms of getting healthy, in terms of protecting our heart, in terms of protecting our blood, in terms of protecting our liver, in terms of getting off of drugs, in terms of not having to interface with doctors in the medical model. When we understand the link between sugar and all of these diseases, and sugar is just one example of how much control we have over our health, certainly exercise and breathing, all the things we talk about here on this program. So if you want to lower your cholesterol the way it's supposed to be lowered, at the causal level, by addressing the cause of elevated blood cholesterol, you want to improve insulin sensitivity. This is how you handle metabolic syndrome. All the issues I just talked about: cardiovascular issues, heart disease, strokes, blood sugar issues, kidney disease, obesity, cholesterol. Pretty much a who's who of all the things we suffer from in this country, including weight gain issues that everybody's going to be obsessed with. And here in about 2 weeks, you're going to see all kinds of commercials and all kinds of marketing pushes for weight loss formulas and weight loss pills and weight loss programs and Weight Watchers and Jenny Craig. And reduce your sugar intake, resensitize your body to insulin, and you'll improve liver health and brain function and cardiovascular health too. All right, I'm Pharmacist Ben. You're listening to The Bright Side. We're coming back with more good health information and you and your phone calls at 844-236-6010 right after this. Okay, we are back on The Bright Side. I'm Pharmacist Ben. We're on the air Monday through Friday, 8 to 9 Pacific and 10 to 11 Central Time. All our programs are archived at brightsideben.com, also benfuchsarchives.com. If you want to purchase any of the longevity products, you can also go to brightsideben.com or pharmacistben.com or criticalhealthnews.com. And if you want to purchase any of our Truth Treatment products, including Truth Serum, Truth Balm, Omega-6 Healing Cream, which is awesome for sunburns, any burn, any broken skin, really, diaper rash even, eczema, psoriasis. Not psoriasis so much, but eczema, any broken skin or wounded skin. That's truthtreatments.com, truthtreatments.com for our Truth Skin Health products. Okay, we're talking about, we'll get to your phone calls here in just a sec. A couple more things I want to say about metabolic syndrome, lowering your cholesterol, blood fats. The most important strategy, there's lots of important strategies, but the most important strategy is caloric restriction eating less sugar and starches, and using nutritional supplements for blood sugar. If you have any signs of metabolic syndrome, including elevated cholesterol or kidney disease, you want to improve insulin sensitivity. And by the way, that's where fasting comes in, and caloric restriction, restricting your calories, not eating so many calories. Yes, calories count. Calories are heat, and the body doesn't like heat. The body is always trying to run cool, not hot. Hot is for infections. Hot is emergency. Hot is a sign of sympathetic emergency nervous system activation. Hot flashes, for example, are a sign of emergency system activations. Calories are heat. The body has to cool things down when it's hot, and that takes work, and that takes nutrients. Calories represent work. Fasting, caloric restriction, eating less sugar, which is also heat-inducing, by the way, sugar is, and using your Beyond Tangy Tangerine, your Sweeties, your B vitamins, and vitamin E. All of these are great strategies for helping improve insulin sensitivity. Talk about the liver tomorrow, liver health. That's another place where vitamin E shines if you're dealing with liver. By the way, do you know that if you're taking a prescription drug, do you know your liver is doing the work to clear that thing? And if you have liver disease and you're on a prescription drug, what is that saying? Why would anybody take a prescription drug when they have liver disease? 100 million Americans have liver disease, and many of them are taking prescription drugs, which puts more burden on the liver. How can a medical professional put somebody on a drug or a medication or on multiple drugs, polypharmacy, when they got liver disease? That's my beef with prescription drugs. Not that occasionally they're not necessary, but staying on a prescription drug, you don't even hear about that as a side effect, but that's one of the side effects, is liver issues. Because the liver's got to do the work to clear that thing out. And, oh, by the way, guess what? It takes nutrients. If you're on a prescription drug, you're burning through vitamin C. You're burning through vitamin E. You're burning through your mighty 90 essential nutrients. If you're on a prescription drug, that's an extra reason, especially if you're on polypharmacy, multiple prescription drugs. That's an extra important reason to make sure you're on the mighty 90 essential nutrients. If you know somebody on prescription drugs, give them the gift of Beyond Tangy Tangerine for Christmas. Everybody should be giving the gift of Beyond Tangy Tangerine for Christmas, especially for folks who are on multiple medications, or for people in nursing homes, or dealing with metabolic syndrome, or just for people who want to be healthy. Okay, time to hit the phones. 844-236-6010 is our number. We do have lines open for you. Sarah in Massachusetts, welcome to the Bright Side. Good morning.
Hi, good morning.
Good morning. What's up?
Sorry, I wish my question were more specifically about your metabolic disorder topic or vitamin E, but it was actually more of a general question.
That's fine. You don't need. It doesn't have to be on topic. I'm here to help you.
Okay.
What's going on?
Well, my husband and I had heard you on Coast to Coast a few nights ago. It might have even been last week, and he was really, really, really inspired. Not just by your message that you were speaking about, but actually by you, by your attitude. He said you seem very pure, and he.
Well, I think you might be. I think you might be thinking of Dr. Wallach, though. I wasn't on Coast to Coast last week. That was Dr. Wallach. Is that who you're thinking of? I don't want to take credit for Doc.
I don't know. He said that it was you, pharmacist Ben Fuchs.
Okay, well, then go ahead.
It could have been, you know what, it could have been like...
Yeah, last week was Doc, and I was on about a month ago. I'm on pretty much every 5 or 6 weeks. But anyway, what's going on? How can we help you?
Oh, sorry. Hang on, let me just get in the fresh air here. Oh. Anyway, well, maybe it could have, no, hold on, I just don't want to be in there for 1 minute, sweetie. Sorry. Well, perhaps it was a rerun. It could have been. Anyway, basically, what he said you were really speaking about was the importance of any type of, enlightened, self-sustaining, positive lifestyle. The importance is that we pass on to our children.
That was me. That
yeah, okay.
Me, yes.
So I thought so. I mean, it's possible it was longer ago than I'm realizing, too. But anyway, my question is simply, he and I are extremely interested in just kind of forming more of like a network with people that think like that are like-minded, that are into pooling gifts and resources and kind of bringing about that new society, if you will, emerging.
I love it, Sarah. How old are you, Sarah? Are you a youngster?
Maybe I'm 30 years old.
Yes, you are a youngster. You're the new generation that's going to save the world. because we messed it up. My generation, our generation. So good for you. I encourage that. I encourage young. I notice that a lot of folks, and you don't feel like you're young, but I'm almost twice as old as you, and I can tell you you're very, very young. And it's your generation that has really noticed. I've noticed, and I talk to 30-year-olds all the time. I've noticed that your generation is sick of the baloney. That's what the Bright Side's about, and that's why you connect with my message, is because we're all sick of the bull crap that is fed to us at every turn, from the political world to the world of the legal system and government and doctors, and it's just polluted and disgusting. And you guys are sick of it. Am I correct?
Absolutely.
Okay. Well, congratulations. I want to help. How can we help you today specifically?
Well, I guess, if it could be answered specifically, I was just wondering what, advice or suggestions you might have for where I could go.
What do you do for a living, Sarah?
Actually, I'm just a stay-at-home mom right now. My husband works at a restaurant.
Okay.
But,
here's what you do. Here's what you do. Get on your computer and print up some posters. And have a video night once a week or once a month or every couple of weeks where you show a video. And you invite people to your home, or you rent a room in the library if you like, or sometimes there's free meeting rooms. And you take the initiative, and you put posters up and say, we're doing a free video on something enlightening for people. Once a week, you know what I'm saying? Once a week, once a month, whatever. And you could just start off with your friends. Just start off with 3 or 4 friends if you want. But you get the ball rolling. And this is the way movements begin. You get the ball rolling. You got to take the first step in any kind of change or any kind of project that you want to initiate. You got to get the ball rolling. You know what I'm saying? You got to take that first step. And the first step for you, if you want to connect people up, or anybody listening who wants to connect people up, as Sarah's saying, and form a network, is invite people into your home or into a room that you've rented where you're hosting an event. You follow me? Where you're becoming a resource. Because most people aren't going to do that. You're one of the few people that's even motivated to do that. So that means just because you're motivated to do that, that almost like you have a responsibility to do that. Because most people aren't. So if you feel comfortable having people in your house, or you just want to do it with some friends, have a weekly video night, and only do it and do it no matter who shows up. Even if nobody shows up, you still do it the next week. You follow me? Yeah. Even if nobody shows up the next week, you still do it until one person shows up, and then they tell a friend, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And everybody wants to do that. We all love to get together. We're just waiting for somebody to take the ball into their own court and take the initiative and start the ball rolling, so to speak. If you know what I'm saying. Does that make sense, Sarah?
Yeah.
Okay, good. I'm glad you called. Thank you so much. I hope you keep listening to The Bright Side. Take care. Have a beautiful day. Okay. All right, we'll get your calls if you're on hold when we come back from our break. We do have lines open at 844-236-6010. I'm Pharmacist Ben. You're listening to The Bright Side. We'll be back after this. Okay, we are back on The Bright Side. I'm Pharmacist Ben. 844-236-6010 is our number. Tom in Florida. What's going on?
Good morning,
hey,
Ben.
Tom. Greetings. What's up, man?
Hey, man. I'm so happy to talk to you today. It makes my day. I've been listening to you for a while.
Oh, thank you.
Like Tangerine. And
thank you.
coincidentally, my father and grandfather were both pharmacists.
Oh, no kidding. Where?
Oh, in Western Kentucky.
Really? Little pharmacies? Little small-town pharmacy kind of thing?
Yes, sir. And it's actually still in the business.
You know, that's funny. That's why I got into pharmacies, because I got into for a couple of reasons. But one of the reasons is I got inspired by those small-town pharmacies. They just seem so cute and rustic and simple. And that was kind of a fantasy of mine when I was in pharmacy schools, to go to West Virginia or Western Kentucky or something and work in one of those small-town pharmacies with the.
Oh yeah.
Did they have the soda, the soda fountain thing and all that?
Yes, sir. It's still in operation.
Oh, that is awesome.
And you can look it up.
I will.
Bell's Drugstore. Yeah, Bell's Drugstore in Western Kentucky.
Bell's Drugstore.
Bravo. Yes, sir.
Oh, cool. I definitely will look that up. Thank you, Tom. What's cooking? What's going on?
Well, I called today, and I've actually, it's a very strange type of thing that happens usually in the fall, the winter. It's a skin issue that I have, and it's primarily isolated to the tops of my hands. And I'm not sure exactly what it's almost like. Yes, sir.
Is it like rashy, or is it is it like raised up, or is it exposed tissue underneath the surface of the skin, like bloody, like pink tissue, or what's it look like?
It's raised, and it's a little bit
okay,
scaly almost.
Okay, got it.
And it's and it's almost like it's weird because it's kind of scary. I don't know if it's like a parasite or what, but it's like almost like a circular shape, like a small circular shape. And they'll pop up for like maybe a week or two, and then they'll just like magically disappear. And then, but it's typically in the winter months, and even here in Florida, I mean, it's
Where are you in Florida?
I'm on the East Coast. I'm at New Smyrna Beach, and there's listeners here. I just talked to a guy. I ran into a guy yesterday that listens to your show too.
Oh, really? Just randomly you ran into him?
Yeah. He's at the health food store. We were talking. I've known the guy before in the past, and he was just talking about your show yesterday. So. Oh,
that's cool. Awesome. So the word's getting out. Yeah. The bright side is getting out. I never know who's listening. Sometimes I think nobody's listening, but no, I used to think that, but now I know people listen. All right, so here's the deal. A couple things. It's hard to, by your description, it's hard to tell if it's psoriasis or ringworm. Ringworm typically will be a circular thing, and that's a fungal infection. Psoriasis is more of an immune condition. Do you have any other health issues? This is how you do it, by the way, for the listeners and as well as for Tom. You want to look for other health challenges. Anything else going on? And sometimes you have to really look because they go under the radar. They go stealth on us. Anything else going on? Digestive issues, blood sugar, weight changes. How old are you? 30?
I'm 37.
37. Any changes with your weight that you notice, dramatic changes or any kind of changes? Anything?
No? Not so much on the weight. I mean,
okay. Well, you don't have to tell us here. I don't want to put you on this. I want you to think about it because that's important information. Because you want to start to form a picture. You got to collect the dots before you can connect the dots. You want to start to form a picture of what's happening in your body. So right now it's hard to go on. Skin conditions tend to be, for the most part, signs of something inside the body, not topical. Now, the way you're describing your condition, it could be something called a ringworm. Have you heard of that?
Mm-hmm.
Ringworm will be ringworm will be a little ring, and it'll be like a little rash. It's not really a worm. They call it a worm because it looks like a worm a little bit. Does it kind of have a wormy kind of look to it? A circular worm? If you can,
perhaps. I mean,
that's why it's called ringworm anyway. Ringworm is a fungal infection. Now, ringworm is not topical. Fungus always live on us, but they don't overgrow unless we got an imbalance between our good bacteria and our good fungus. We have good yeast, good fungus. Fungus and bacteria live in the body in a peaceful relationship until one overgrows. And one overgrows when the undergrows, and it's usually dysbiosis or messed up gut bacteria that is the triggering event. And that's very common, very, very, very common. So first things first, take care of your gut bacteria. That would be the first thing you want to do. Whether it's ringworm or psoriasis or anything else for that matter, that's always the first step in taking care of your body, aside from taking care of symptoms, is to address the gut with the and its microbiome with probiotics. So biolumin nightly essence, and then support the environment for the gut for the bacteria to live in the gut, and that's by using fiber as well as nitrates, nitrogen from vegetables. When I say nitrates, I'm talking about from vegetables, nitrogen that's found in vegetables, nitrates and nitrites in vegetables. We talked about how important these things are a couple months back. Even though you hear all this negative stuff about nitrates and nitrites, they're incredibly functional and important when they're in veggies. So doing veggie juices along with your probiotics, fermented foods, of course, will get you all that, plus, in one package. So if you can take the time to make some sauerkraut or fermented beets or other fermented foods, and it doesn't take much work, that's another strategy for you. And then fiber also. You can do just straight fiber. I grind up flax seeds every morning and do it, or you can get your fiber from your veggies. Topically, there's not much you could do, although they do make antifungal topicals like some nystatin is the most famous one. I'm sorry, Neosporin, which has nystatin in it. Nystatin is actually a prescription, but if you get Neosporin with nystatin in it, that will help with I'm pretty sure I should look that up before I say it. Look for topical antifungal. There's also something called miconazole, which is a topical antifungal. So miconazole will work. And just if you have a fungal infection on the skin sometimes, vaginal fungal infection creams will work too. Those typically have miconazole or something else, clotrimazole, something like that in there. And that will work topically. If it is indeed ringworm, it might work topically. But I'd be taking care of my gut bacteria. That would be the first thing to do. Okay?
Okay. And just curious, can you do like too much of that stuff? I mean, because I've listened to you really, like, too many probiotics or...
Well, it's not that. It's not a blanket. You could do too much of some nutrients, absolutely. Zinc, selenium. Your minerals are the ones you got to be careful of, especially, all minerals you want to be careful of, but the ones that are lower down on the periodic table tend to be more dangerous to work with. Selenium, copper, zinc. These you can definitely take too much of. It's difficult to take too much calcium or magnesium and potassium, but the ones, if you look at the periodic table, you'll see some that are towards the middle or in the bottom part of it, the lower part of it, and those are the ones that are super duper active. You got to be careful with. But as far as vitamin B, the water soluble vitamins, it's impossible pretty much. Vitamin C and the B complex. If you take too much vitamin C all at once, you'll get a little bloated or gassy. You may feel uncomfortable, but it's not going to be toxic. The fatty vitamins, D, E, A, and K, a little bit trickier to work with, but still, if you're reasonable about how you use them, you don't have to worry about overdosing on them. If you're reasonable, I mean, you could swallow the whole bottle of vitamin A and go into something called hypervitaminosis, where you'll get jaundice because of all the stress on your liver, but you'd have to do the whole bottle or huge amounts. Just common sense, you take them in a common sense fashion, not an issue. Although, interestingly, lately there's been some literature that's talking about taking too much probiotics. I'm not sure if I'm buying into that. I'll let you know as I read more about it. I'll let you know if you keep listening to the program. Does that help, Tom?
Yes, sir. Thank you very much.
Okay, buddy. Thank you for listening. I appreciate it. All right, take care, man. All right, Carl. Oh, shoot. Carl, call back. I just hung up on you. I apologize for that. I had Carl, the Truth Raider, on there. If you can call back, Carl, we got a couple minutes to talk to you. I apologize. That's on me. And I hit the wrong button on that. All right, if you guys are interested in checking out the longevity products, please head to brightsideben.com, criticalhealthnews.com, or pharmacistben.com. All the longevity products are up there, including the Beyond Tangy Tangerine and the Healthy Start Pack. And I'd especially like to have you on my team. If you want to join the Brightside Ben team, if you want to start yourself a longevity business, if you're interested in helping spread the word, we can help you do that. I can personally help you do that by doing three-way phone calls, and if you have enough people, I can fly out and do presentations to help you drive your business. If you want more information, you can either head to the websites brightsideben.com, criticalhealthnews.com, or you can also go to pharmacistben.com. You can also call the phone team at 866-735-2470. They're friendly and knowledgeable and know all about the longevity business. Some of the folks on the phone team have made some significant money selling longevity and being part of the longevity family, in addition to helping people and helping change lives with nutrition and nutritional supplementation. And, of course, if you want to purchase any of our Truth Treatment products, including our Retinol 5% gel, if you're interested in anti-aging, folks, it's all about the retinol and vitamin C. In fact, those are the two ingredients. If you're stranded on a desert island and you can only bring two ingredients for your skin, it's vitamin C in its fatty form, not just ascorbic acid, not the crappy stuff, not the stuff that turns brown in the bottle, the fat-soluble, stabilized premium form that's goes by the name of ascorbyl palmitate or ascorbyl tetraisopalmitate. You can find out all about it at truthtreatments.com. That's truthtreatments.com. All right, that's all the time we have for today. I'm Pharmacist Ben. Tomorrow we'll continue talking about the liver and blood sugar issues and vitamin E, tocopherol, on the bright side. Have yourselves an awesome, spectacular, beautiful day. I'm Pharmacist Ben. We'll talk to y'all later, folks. Bye for now.